Good morning, as always. Small group. Man, where's everybody at? I guess so.
So you guys played Jefferson twice last year, and they're two really different games. One, you probably held him to close to, if not a career low, and then the second game he popped off for 200. And so I'm wondering, as a coordinator, when you go back and you kind of look at that film, what do you learn from, I guess, both of those matchups that you can apply to future matchups against him?
The first thing, that guy's a really good player. In our first game, our guys made the plays. In the second game, he made the plays. It's as simple as that. We dealt him just like we did, both games. And I think Jeff did a really good job of being physical with them at the beginning of every play. And Jeff did a really good job of actually denying the ball, along with our safety. And then when you come to the second game, he made some unbelievable catches with two guys on him. And that just, when you're one of the top three receivers in this league, man, that can happen. All right, the thing that we got to be able to do is just outcompete that guy. He's a fun guy to go against because you know what's going to happen. You know where the ball's going. So our guys would be ready for that.
Those elite athletes, those guys that do make plays regardless of what you throw at them. Can you also see their adjustments to you? I mean, you said you kind of came at him with the same strategy, doubling him. I mean, could you see the minor tweaks that he did to compensate for what
the only adjustment that I saw them guys make is him going up and getting the ball. That's it, because they ran the same routes. This offense did not change. And sometimes, there are really good players in this league that can make plays. Again, that adjustment word that comes out, that it kills me. But he ran the 7 route, he made the play. He ran the 7 route on Jeff, he didn't make the play. It's very simple.
I wanted to ask you about Khalil Dorsey, played over 65% of defensive snaps.
Yeah.
Just wondering what your assessment is of his potential and how he's been performing.
He's a guy that's tough. He's fast. He's physical. Listen, he hasn't had a lot of reps out there playing corner. If you look at what he's done for us on special teams, I mean, he is one of the elite gunners, in my opinion, in this game. And he's still growing. He's still growing. So, but he is a corner. He is a corner that can run. So we want to give him every opportunity to go out there and show what he can do. And I've said this many times, when you show me in practice you can go out there and compete and you can play, you're going to get a chance to play for me. And he deserved that. So he went out there and he did a good job for us.
Who's played a bigger role for you of late, Iffy.
Yeah.
Beyond the opportunity, just being healthy, what has he done so well to earn that and to make good on the opportunity?
If you guys know my background when it comes to safeties, I'm a big fan of safeties that has a corner background. And that's one of the reasons he's here. Because he's able to cover like we need to, like a corner, but he is tough enough and physical enough as a safety to get down in the box and go make plays. So, and you said it already, one of Iffy's biggest issues was him being healthy for the whole time. And then making that transition, man, it's not an easy transition, all right, because he did come in as a corner. So now he understands exactly what we're looking for in the safeties. And his communication, that's what's really improved. And he's already a smart guy. So, the thing is, he still needs time on task, right? It's just, man, he went out there and he really showed what he can do last week, and I'm expecting him to continue to grow.
CJ back, obviously, soon this week or whenever it is. What becomes of Iffy? How do you? It's a good problem.
Best guy plays. Best guy plays. It's simple. So whoever the best guy is in practice, that's who's going to play. So I don't want to make anything bigger than this and what it is, so please don't ask.
What does having 3 guys that can play that position offer you in terms of some packages? And
I mean, you have 3 good players that can go out there and play at any given time.
How long do you think it'll take CJ to get up to game speed or where he needs to be?
Well, I think that's with any players coming off an injury. You have to have confidence in what you're doing. He has to have confidence in him going out there and making tackles. And he will. I know that player very, very well. And once he gets a chance to practice, let's see what he can do. And let's see him go out there and compete with other guys, see who gets a chance to get the job.
In respect to best guy plays, when you do, when a guy's playing well, you will find packages and ways to use him regardless.
Absolutely. I'm not going to tell you guys that, though. But yes, we will.
Just told us.
I'm not going to tell you what and how.
Another guy in the secondary that got some run last week, Vilder. He had, I think, a PBU, a quarterback hit.
Yep.
Just kind of all over the place. Just, I guess
He deserves a chance to play also. He's practicing with us. He's practicing hard. So we're going to give him a chance. He's also playing special teams. And the thing about those two guys, man, we really need those guys to play special teams. So both of those guys will get a chance to play on defense. We don't want to run them out. We'll run them down. So, listen, it's a good situation for us to have of two guys that's competing for that job and also helping us on special teams.
Josh Pascal had a couple big plays as well. Just how have you seen him grow over the last couple of weeks since he's come back?
Well, listen, that's a guy I've been talking about for a while. And, man, he's still a young player. He's still a player that's on the upswing for us. There's a lot of learning that he still has. He can still grow. So I'm expecting those plays from him. I really do, because of the talent and because we know that player coming out in the draft. We expect those things from him.
How important has it been getting plays from Pascal, and you throw Kaminsky in there
Yeah.
too, and just getting that kind of that other guy, that other side, because you know Hutch is going to bring it every week. But
Yeah.
getting those extra plays from those other guys, how impactful has that been?
It has been. I mean, I think you guys know how I feel about Kamish. He's the ultimate warrior. Anything you ask him to do, he's going to go out there and do it. Man, he's a Detroit Lion through and through, you know, so really like that player, really like what he brings to the table. And Pascal's one of those young guys that he's able to play out on the edge. Then you could also put him inside as a 3 technique to go out there and rush. So talent-wise, man, there's a lot there with that player. You know, again, he just needs time on task. And he's another guy just got to stay healthy, and he's been doing a good job of that this year.
I wanted to ask you one about just last
You
week's
have to
game.
ask me about CJ and if he get on you.
No, CJ. Last week's game plan. A lot more blitzing, I think, on
Yeah.
early downs. Certainly more usage of your secondary. I assume a lot of that had to do with just how long Russell held onto the ball. Typically,
Yeah.
that was his kind of profile. But did you see value, I guess, in kind of the way you blitzed in that game as something that can be applicable going forward for you guys?
Listen, I wanted to be aggressive in that. I knew the matchups that we had were favorable for us when you go Dorsey out there, because Dorsey can run. You guys have seen that on special teams. Iffy being out there, a former corner that can play. So, man, those are the guys that allowed us as a defense to go out there and really be aggressive. And it was a fun game to call, especially against my former boss, who I like a lot, and he's taught me a lot. To go out there and go toe-to-toe with him for the most part, like it was fun.
Sunday, you got Nick Mullins in there. Obviously, they've had a lot of different quarterbacks taking snaps. Just how is he different from maybe the other guys that have come before him?
Well, he's been around this league for a little bit, and he understands football. You see, he's more the traditional pocket passer, totally different than Dobbs. All right, Dobbs is the guy that can run around and make some plays with his feet. The thing about him, and he understands, you can see him be able to progression read and make those throws he has to make. Listen, I expect them to utilize their running backs. I expect them to utilize Jefferson. I know Jefferson wants his balls, because I don't know how many he got last week, but he didn't get as many as Addison. So I know that's going to be an issue. So we expect him to utilize all his skill players, you know. So, and then you can't forget about Hawkinson also.
Here since the beginning, you know, of this sort of rebuild.
Yeah.
Been through the lean times that first season and a half. How proud of you, or how proud are you of where you guys are right now, what you've accomplished or on the verge of accomplishing, and what would it mean to bring a division championship to?
Man, listen, I've learned a lot in these 3 years. Just overall of like, how do you want to build a team? The right way to do it, regardless of what people on the outside say. Man, you have to be true to your values. You have to be true to your standards. And you have to trust what you're doing, because, man, there's going to be a lot of naysayers out there. But, man, when you have people internally that understand exactly what you're trying to do, that's all that matters. And that's something that, like, Dan and Brad has done a really, really good job of. So I commend those guys for that. But being able to get a division, to win this division, I think it means a lot for everybody in this building. Well, I know it does. And we're going to do everything we can to make sure that we do that this Sunday. And that's been the plan from the beginning. You know, even though it took us, you know, this third year to do it, that's always been the plan. So, but not just to win the division, man. Everyone wants to win that Super Bowl, but you have to win that division first, and you have to do things like that so you can see you have things to build on, and that's what we're trying to do.
I imagine it's very much by design with their personnel, but,
Yeah.
but adding Addison and Hawk the
Wow.
last 2 years, like you want to double
Big
Jefferson,
force.
you're gonna, yeah, I mean, like how much more difficult is it to stop Jefferson when you have two complementary weapons like that?
Listen, you have to try to take somebody out, and then you have to win your one-on-ones also. And that's just the nature of football. And every now and then you can take your chance on doubling, you know, two guys. If you double three, you don't have enough guys rushing, you know. So, but it's going to be a challenge, and we know that. But the guys that's in that one-on-one situation, man, you have to go out there and compete. And you have to compete with confidence, and that's just what it is. There's some times we're going to be one-on-one with Jefferson, right? And our guys got to compete with confidence, and that's just part of playing football. And I think our guys will be up for that challenge. Absolutely. No, ask me about CJ Iffy.
Brian Flores, you know, he calls such a unique defense
Yeah.
with the cover zeros and the 8-man drops. I'm just curious what your relationship is with him, and I guess what kind of respect level you have for the style, the uniqueness
Yeah.
of defense he calls.
Listen, I know Brian very well. Been knowing him for a while. You saw him mature and grow as a coach, and to be able to develop his own style. And to me, it goes back to what do you believe in as a coach? And he believes in this style of play. And we've sat down, we talked about, you know, this style of play just before when he was in Miami before. And you saw glimpses of that in Miami. And I think now he has a chance to go full tilt what his beliefs are. And regardless of what I feel about the scheme, it doesn't really matter. It's the fact that he feels like really, really good, and he's confident in the scheme, and that's all that matters. Just like what we do. We're confident in what we do. And we're going to go out there and try to, you know, make it as best as we can of what we do. And I think he's doing that with his guys.
Thank you.
All right.